Hello YouTube. This is my M&M AK-47 variant rifle in the 7.62 by 39 caliber round. I think in general the best AK-47 variant on the market that you can buy is either a VEPR, VEPR, or a Sega converted, and the most noted company that does a good job at that is the Arsenal brand AK-47 variants. But those can be kind of expensive. This particular AK-47 variant has had a lot of good reviews, and it already came with all the items that I thought I would want to put on AK-47 variant that I was going to purchase. So I went ahead and purchased this particular one. It's made in, at least the receiver is made in Romania, but all the parts are either US made or are the better variety imports that, and then it was assembled here in the United States. It has a cold hammer forged chrome lined barrel. It's a little heavier than most AK-47 variants. It has a Tapco style muzzle brake on it, but that one is, from what I gather from the website, is actually made by M&M or is made for M&M. It is not a Tapco. The first ones that M&M produced were Tapcos. This one is not. It is stamped M&M on it. It's very gnarly looking. It's even a weapon almost in itself, if you can see the sharp edges on the front of it. It has a M&M produced aluminum quad rail. It also came with some quad rail covers, but I felt it was too bulky in my hand, so I'm going to be getting some ladder rail covers for it. That gets a bit warm if you shoot relatively rapid succession of fire, maybe 2 30-round magazines. It gets a little uncomfortable for the hand. It's certainly tolerable, but in that current configuration, you'd want to wear a glove, which is what I wear anyway when I shoot military-style firearms. It's got adjustable RPK-style sights that are windage adjustable, not just the standard AK variant style sights. That's a nice addition that even the Arsenal I don't think comes with. The gas tube is not chrome lined, but I don't know of any AK variant that comes with a chrome lined gas tube. It comes with a Hogue rubber grip, and it's awesome. I don't have any plans on replacing that. The magazine release catch, I'm going to be upgrading that to a paddle bigger version, but that is it's completely suitable the way it is. It came with a Tapco trigger, which is the best trigger I've ever felt on a military rifle. I mean, it is super light. I'm going to guess it's a 3-pound trigger pull. Fantastic and crisp. The rifle, mine came with a Tapco smooth side magazine, which absolutely works flawlessly. Now, there are no metal reinforcements on the lips or the catch, so I wouldn't call this a go-to-war magazine, but it certainly works great for the range. I would be worried if you dropped it on a metal surface or concrete surface that the feed lips might crack. So, but as far as functionality, I'm going to be buying more of those. They're only like $8 a piece, and they're smooth side, so they go well into my load-bearing vest without any trouble whatsoever. Tapco makes another version that has a bunch of ribs on it, and it's a little bit tougher to get into the load-bearing vests. Some of these M&Ms came with a ProMag magazine, and some of them came with a European cheap magazine. I don't know if this is just I got lucky and got the Tapco variety. Some people have had some trouble with the wobble of the ProMags that were coming with some of them. This one is the later production in the M&M line. and it has something on it that I didn't ask for when I ordered it, but it's pretty cool. I think I'm happy with it. I told the Sooner State Pawn in Oklahoma City to order me either the lesser end Arsenal variety, lesser cost one, and then I would have to kit it out, or a Waffen Works AK-74, or this particular one. And I didn't really care which equipment came on this one, because all of them, well, not all of them, but all of them come with that muzzle brake, all of them come with the sight on the gas block, the windage adjustable sights, the Romanian receiver, the cold hammer forged barrel, chrome line barrel, and most of them come in with this rail. Some of them come with a polymer grip, but most of them come with this rail, and they all have been coming with the Hogue rubber grip from M&M. But there's what is it, 4 stocks available for this. I only knew of 3. One was the classic Tapco plastic buttstock, which I would have immediately removed. Some of them are coming with a wire stock, which I thought I would probably have tried for a while and may not have replaced, and that would have been a folder. And then some of them come with a Tapco T6 stock, which is what I probably would have kept that one for a while until I switch it out to a metal tubed stock and put a Magpul butt stock on it. And this one was a surprise, and it could explain why this rifle out the door was $700. I just told the company, to the pawn shop, to order it for me because I knew about what they cost. And then when I showed up to the shop and I said, how much is it? And it was $700. I thought, well, I wonder why it was $700. But they're kind of difficult to AK-47 variants that are at least new, not shot by the Chinese or Wasser 10 or something that come with mismatched parts or something. They're very difficult to find. So I went ahead and picked it up at the reason it costs $100 more than the typical one is because of this stock. It has a recoil reducing spring in it. It's I'm trying to hard to see here. I'm shooting this with my iPad 3 just to see how well, but let me see here. I don't know if you can tell that, but there's a recoil spring in there. And this is made by Phoenix Technologies, and that stock is a $120 item. And it does reduce the recoil. This thing hardly has any felt recoil whatsoever. It certainly has less recoil than my AR-15. So that's kind of cool. It also comes with that really soft rubber butt pad, and because of the spring adapter that's there at the back of the receiver adds another 1.5 inches to it, the length of pull on this rifle is fantastic. So if you have an AK-47 variant and you put the typical Tapco stock on there and it's still not long enough for you, this buttstock here reduces recoil, gets you back on target faster, and it increases the length of pull, which is kind of cool. Now, I'm not an expert on the AK-47 variants, but this rifle here has something I don't know if it's a problem in the manufacturing or it's supposed to be there. But there's a little nipple here in the top cover, and you can get the rifle bolt to stay back on it. Now, as soon as you put a magazine in there and lock it in place, it slams home. Now, it functions smoothly. I haven't had any failures of fire, failures of any kind with this rifle. No stove piping, no keyholing, none whatsoever, and the bolt travels very smoothly. It also has a Tapco stainless steel piston on the bolt carrier, which is kind of cool. So I don't know about that. If anybody watches this video can tell me, is that dimple on the cover meant for the bolt to stick on? I'm not sure, but it seems very smooth when you're operating it by hand. I've been using Tiger imported ammunition without any trouble whatsoever. I'm able to hold a pattern at 100 yards with the open sights at about the size of my fist, which I'm very pleased with for an AK variant. It does have a scope reel on the opposite side. I'm going to be getting some sort of a scout mounted red dot for the front of it here. But I'm very pleased for the accuracy, being that the sight radius is pretty short. You know, a lot of AK-47s have the standard gas block there, and then the sight's out closer to the break. This one is incorporated. I don't know how I feel about that at this particular time, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the accuracy at all. Now, a lot of people I've watched their videos on this particular rifle, and I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about it. Although everybody compares it to the Arsenal, and it is not an Arsenal, but I mean, for the $300 less it cost, and it comes already with aftermarket grip and stock and quad rail, and that's a solid aluminum quad rail, and a pretty good brake on it already. I don't know how you could go wrong. I plan on, after I shoot it a few hundred more rounds through it, I'm going to strip it apart and take it to a local Cerakoter. And I'm going to have the inside of the receiver, the trigger components, every part of the rifle that's metal Cerakoted, except for maybe that quad rail. I'll probably leave it black. But everything else will get Cerakoted. That'll probably cost me another $200 to $250. And all my other firearms that have Cerakoted operate fantastically well, easy to clean, and you don't need to use any lube on them after they're Cerakoted because it's a ceramic-based coating. And I tell you what, if you're thinking about coating something, Cerakote is the way to go, especially on the parts that are small enough to fit in a baking oven. It's just indestructible. The Cerakote that you spray on then let it dry, it does wear a little bit, but if it's been baked on it, it takes an ugly gun to make it look like a piece of artwork. Additional add-ons, I'll be putting a single point sling back here, the kind that's a reinforcement plate under the grip. I'm also thinking about getting a Craig's rail mount that goes over the top of the receiver. And if I put that on there, and if the Weaver rail that goes across the rail from Krebs lines up with the top of that handrail, what I'll end up doing is I'll grind off the sight post on the top of that gas block, and then I'll put some Troy Industries flip-up sights. But that's only if they line up perfectly. If they don't, then I'll just be putting some sort of a removable optic back here, and then leaving the front post in place. A lot of people on the internet will talk about they've gotten this rifle of the older version with the plain stock on it, and maybe not the quad rails on there on the front, for $450. Now that was about 2 years ago. There's also some people that on the internet that have said they've gotten this recently for $500, and it didn't have that stock in the back. I don't know if Oklahoma is just some odd state where guns cost more, but I've shopped around, and there's a local gun range here that sells this particular rifle for $800, and it didn't come with the better stock on the back end. It came with the wire folder. I don't know, I think I paid a reasonable price for this. It was basically $600 rifle if you don't count that stock in the back end. For $600 to buy an AK variant that's got brand new parts in it, has never been shot, it's been put together by an American who makes sure the sights line up, that the triggers were operating correctly, it's got a cold hammer forged barrel. I think that's a pretty respectable. The best price I've seen on a Wasser 10 lately is around $500, supposedly new, but you know the parts on those sometimes are used. And it had ugly wood furniture on it. So if you bought a Wasser 10 and you got out the door for, let's say, $500, on a good deal. And then you bought a Tapco stock for it, and a better pistol grip, whatever trips your trigger, and some sort of quad rail, and a muzzle brake, and then put a G2 trigger in it, you'd quickly be into the $900 or even $1,000 range. And this one comes with all the goodies on it already. Even if you wanted to swap out something that's on there already, you'd still be way ahead. And it's a brand new rifle. It's never been shot. It's chrome lined. Anyway, now I've also been shooting some of the surplus rifle mags. These are 30 round. I think they're Romanian 30 round. I'm not sure on it. They're not stamped where they come from, but they're the higher quality. They're not the rough edge surplus, and they've worked flawlessly. Not one misfeed, not one malfunction whatsoever, and they fit in the rifle real well. The Tapco one fits a little tight, but that's probably a good thing because it doesn't wobble at all. There is some rubbing of the plastic on some of the points. I probably will take a file to that and take those edges off, but they work great. This one here is a 40 round magazine. I do not know where it came from. It was brand new. It works flawlessly as well. It's not as high quality as the 30 round surplus ones, but it is metal. It's worked flawlessly. I have one complaint on it. You have to really rock to get it in past the cack. Now I might buy another one of that, and it may just be this particular one, or if it becomes it's just the style they're made, I might take a file to it and make it fit a little better. But it does go in there. You just can't do a quick reload with it. You have to actually purposely stick it in the front notch and rock it back pretty hard. But other than that, it fits. All the magazines that I've tried so far fit great. Now my plans are to buy maybe 10 metal magazines, put them in the closet and not really use them very often, and then stick with the Tapcos. And for $8, as they wear out, I just throw them away as a disposable item. I don't think they're going to be heirloom quality magazines, but these metal ones could last a lifetime. So I want to save the wear and tear on them and go with the Tapcos. By the time I Cerakote this rifle, I'll probably have $900 to $1,000 into it, and it being Cerakoted, it won't have any corrosion issues in it. It'll look cool, and I'm very pleased for the price. It seems to be a very high quality AK-47 for the same price as a budget AR-15. It shoots ammunition that's generally cheaper than the 223 ammunition, unless you're comparing it to Wolf steel case. If you're comparing it to the cheap steel case Wolf ammunition or Thule ammunition, the ammunition is the same price. I buy my ammo online. I buy 1,000 rounds at a time. It costs me around $210, then $20 or $30 in shipping. By the time you divide that round cost out, you were talking 16, 17 cents a round, and that's the same price as the steel case Thule ammunition. What else? I may reshoot this video. I may not. What I'm really doing here is this is an iPad 3. I wanted to see how well the camera worked, because if you have an iPad and you use the camera, you can just hit a button and it automatically uploads the video to your YouTube account. Whereas if you use a higher quality camera, you have to upload it, process it, and then connect it to the YouTube account. This is a one push button upload, so that's kind of cool. Although you can tell I'm shaking the camera here, and it's hard to pick up things and show and touch things while you're shooting the camera. So this is just a trial run video. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps you choose this particular rifle. I would pick it again. Especially, here's a little thing. If you're considering AK-47 or AK-74, right now the AK-74 rounds are a few dollars cheaper, but they're drying up. They used to be dirt cheap, and that's why a lot of people purchase the AK-74. Unless you're the kind of person that can stockpile ammunition, and buy it now while it's available. Eventually, AK-74 round is going to be more expensive than the AK-47 round. Also, the magazines for the AK-74 are more expensive. Now, what's likely to happen is, in the near future, whether it's Obama administration or some other administration, is they're going to ban eventually the importation of ammunition. If that happens, the AK-74 round will be as expensive as the .223 round. So if you're choosing the AK-74 because you're thinking it's going to be less expensive to shoot, that may not be true. Now, the AK-74 round is inherently more accurate. It shoots out farther without getting wobbly in its flight path. But most of the engagements that anybody would have are inside of 200 yards. And if that's the case, the AK-74 round hits harder, and it's predictably more economical in the long run. At least I think. Thank you very much for your time.